Hey there, friends. Kevin here from the Chord Progression Podcast, the podcast inspiring young rock metal fans discover music and help find a place they can connect and feel accepted. On this clip from our episode with Daniel from the band Alt out of Australia, their brand new bands came out on June 16th, 2023. And we talk about the release day, whether it's you're releasing an album, a single, or anything alongside your band or whatever project you're working on, the nerves that come through there. But then Daniel said something about it, which may shock you a little bit in terms of your thought process around releasing music. May make a lot of sense, though, as it did to us. So go check it out. Before that happens, though, be sure to hit that like button to make sure you're pushing this video in the algorithm. Make sure more and more people get to know about these great bands and the Chord Progression Podcast. Also, make sure you're hitting that subscribe button right there as well if you haven't already. We put out new episodes of the podcast every single Tuesday and Thursday with brand new bands. We also have these different reaction clips throughout the week to make sure you don't miss out on anything. And, of course, our Friday song reactions as well. So, without further ado, let's go.
It is a bit like that, I guess, in like a mental capacity. And on release day, it's not just excitement. There's a lot of nervous energy there as well. Wondering what people are going to think about it. And obviously in the world of like social media, everyone has an opinion. So you just have to take some of it with a grain of salt. But yeah, no, releasing the album or releasing your single or whatever you're doing, it's not the end. It's actually the start of the cycle or the era of that particular album. So when you've just released it, it's not, oh, it's time to relax. It's out there now. It's like, no, it's actually just begun. And now the even harder work starts from there now you've got to make people listen to it more. And you need to give people more content around those tracks to get people to listen to songs that weren't singles. And you have to play shows. You have to try and get those new songs into many as possible. So it's like, yeah, so what you're saying is people treating that as the end, but it's the beginning. It's the first part of, I guess, the release.
All right, so let's jump back into that. One thing that led to that piece of the podcast was when we had talked about leading up to it. I said the band hadn't cut quarters. You can take a look at our second reaction clip or take a look at the whole entire podcast as well. One of the main themes was not cutting corners. And with how much preparation the band put into releasing this new music, from creating it to making sure that it was marketed correctly, making sure that all the content they had around their prior release was set up. Now release day happens, and now it's into people's ability to listen to. It's in their Spotify playlist. It's in, if you're still using an old ass iPod, it's still there. It's in their circulation at this point. Now, what happens about people that didn't get to hear it? We had talked about how much competition there is, and if you just release it, it's not necessarily the end of the whole cycle. No. It's the end of the preparation point. It's the end of the creation. It's the end of that first chapter. Now you're on to the second chapter where people have a chance to listen to this. People have a chance to listen to your new song or new album. How are you going to make sure that that hits? Because every day you're going to be competing with somebody else. You're competing with everybody else, not only music-wise, but anything that's going to grab people's attention, anything that's going to make them want to relax or chill out or work, whatever it might be that your music is going for, whatever time they have to get away from whatever duties and responsibilities they have, and they want to get in that a little bit of escapism, you want them to turn to your music. So how do you make sure that they find out about it and give them the chance to do that? You got to continually promote that stuff as well. If you're going to promote your brand new song for maybe 1 or 2 days after release, there's a good chance that we're not going to see it. There's a good chance that someone like myself is not going to see it, especially if I don't know your band or I'm not following you as closely as I do with bands like Rise Against, Ice Nine Kills, or We Came as Romans. Now, if you're continuing to promote it though, like say another month, 2 months, I said a bare minimum of 6, because there are 7 billion people in this world. Not everybody is going to listen to your song. Not everyone has listened to your song. Not every person has listened to Metallica. Not every person has listened to Bring Me the Horizon. Not every person has ever listened to Michael Jackson even. So when we think about that aspect, there's always a new audience that you can capture or try and get to. So if you're continuing to promote your brand new music, there's a good chance that maybe on the 9th or 10th time, I may have actually stumbled upon it, and so many other people might have. I mean, take a look at how many times it takes bands to really hit on something. I think about Bad Omens as well. Bad Omens, when I was supposed to see him for the first time play live, was supposed to play a venue that was going to be like 250 capacity. This was right before the pandemic hit. Then when I first got to see him play a headlining set, they had sold out a room that was over 1,000 people, and we're going to move them up to an even bigger venue, but there was someone already up there. Now when I get to see them play a headlining set for the third time, they're up in that ballroom setting for over 3,000 people, and it's sold out again. So it's not something that happens overnight. It's something that you constantly have to put in the work for. And again, if you're going to put out a brand new song, and once it's out, the work's not over. That chapter is over, but a brand new chapter has just begun, and you want to make sure that you're not cutting any corners and maximizing the opportunity that song has to hit on people, has to hit with the audience, and you want to go out and play some shows too, because those people that go to those shows, they might know your music, they might not, but you have a chance to directly impact them because the focus is going to be on you. So that's one way to think about it. I want to thank you guys for watching this clip. If you enjoyed this one, hit that like button. Make sure you also hit that subscribe button as well to make sure you're checking out every single podcast we put out every single Tuesday and Thursday with some of the best bands out there and some of the best new bands out there as well. If you want to check out the whole entire podcast with Daniel from Alt, go to the podcast. Link is down there. And on that note, I want to thank you guys for supporting the podcast. Thank you guys for watching these clips. And thank you. Once again, can't say thank you enough. So with that being said, this is Kevin, and I'm out.